5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Black, stop playing with him.
Welcome to the No Mistakes podcast. In life, there are no mistakes, just life lessons. And between the two of us, we got a lot of them.
A lot.
I'm your host, Let JBJ.
I'm Shakira B.
Welcome to the show, guys. Okay, today we have a very, very special guest.
Very special.
All right. One of my friends, one of my childhood friends. She has definitely stepped up and leveled up her game. She is a board certified anesthesiologist, entrepreneur, businesswoman, mommy, real estate investor, just an all-around dope person. So give a warm round of applause to my friend, Dr. Jennifer Charles.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome.
Nice. Jen,
Yes,
thank
Jimmy
you for coming on.
or Jay. Thank you for
Whatever
having
you
me.
like. Yeah, no problem.
We got a
no
lot to
problem.
talk about today.
Yeah, I got a couple things.
Okay.
Right? So when we start off with you introducing yourself, give us a little bit about your background, your medical training, your specialty, and then, we go from there.
So I'm Dr. Jennifer Charles. I am a board certified anesthesiologist. Thank you, Alan. And I dabble in real estate.
Hey.
Not that much. I have a med spa with Nurse Destiny Dominique in
Okay,
West
Destiny.
Orange. It's
All
called Ideal Med Spa.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it. And I'm a mother
Nice.
to a 6-year-old wonderful baby girl who's the love of my life. She's really amazing.
That's what, first grade?
She's in first grade.
Nice.
Yeah,
She just started.
I remember that, man. Those days were fun.
Yeah.
A lot, but fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's challenging being a
And
mother.
she's your daughter, so I'm sure she's spunky too, right?
What does that mean?
You a little spunky. Come on now. Let's be
Not
real.
really. Not really.
Okay. All right.
Not really.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, she's a great kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's challenging though.
Yep.
Working,
Balancing all of
Yeah,
that,
it's a lot of work.
Having a child.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yep. Been there. I understand. I know what
And
it's
you got
like.
2.
I got 2. Yeah, my oldest is just starting her second year in high school. She's a sophomore.
Wait, did she let you take her to school or nah?
Nah, she's doing the bus thing.
Oh, okay,
man.
okay.
She's doing the bus thing. So, right now she's 15. She's at that age. She don't want nothing to do with her parents, man.
There you go.
Nothing.
I don't
so-
want that.
Oh, it's coming. Trust me. Sometimes it breaks my heart, but they all tell me it'll change. She's gonna be daddy's girl once again. You just gotta let her go through the little phase that they.
And what
go
about
through right
what
now.
about Gabby?
Oh
Gabby,
man, she's on me like white on rice, man. Gabby's like my shadow.
nice.
You know what I mean? But I'm also afraid there's gonna be a time where she starts to veer off
can
on
you
her
do?
own, and then daddy's gonna be all
Yeah.
lonely and sad and everything.
You're not lonely. We know that.
All right, so let's talk about your medical degree.
Um,
Yo, you're shot.
I'm just saying.
Mhm.
So it is 4 years of college,
Mhm.
4 years of med school, 4 years of residency, 1 year of fellowship.
Mhm.
I specialize in acute pain management and regional anesthesia.
Mhm.
And yeah, like I said, it's definitely challenging because you don't think about work-life balance as you're going through your career path, I
No.
think.
No.
And when I made the decision to become a physician, I didn't really understand the implications that working in person would have on being a mother.
Mm.
So I could never bring my daughter to school. I am up at 5:30 in the morning. I commute to work.
Mm.
I have to be at work by 6:50 in the morning. And for me, where I work, there is no end time. And that does not allow for, I think it doesn't allow for peace, quite honestly, right? Because once it hits around, I think like 1:00, and I know that I'm not getting out of work, then I have to start finding resources. Like who's going to pick up my daughter at
Wow.
3 or 6, depending on what activity she has, right? So I rely heavily on family members
Gotcha.
or friends.
Mhm.
Shout out to Destiny, Lisa, Chelsea, even Naj.
Okay, there you go.
they are amazing
That's what's up.
because if I can't pick her up, somebody else picks her up. My niece takes her to school a majority of the time for me.
Mhm.
I want to say maybe like 2-3 days out of the week, maybe. And then my aunt, Lisa's mother, takes her the other days. But never being able to take her to school and then
Yeah.
sweating
Sometimes
when it's
that's
pickup
tough.
time,
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
like, it is not fun.
Yeah, and,
So
and I can
these,
imagine it gets like you said, even more complicated when you have your daughter in activities.
Yeah, which I do.
And like, yeah,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
Saturday, it's like, okay, you think I'm going to rest? No, because I got to wake up, take her to dance. She also is in piano lessons and swimming.
Wow.
And during the week, she does have a tutoring session and gymnastics. So
It's busy.
it is busy.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And people don't, I think I had somebody ask me a question about balance, and I'm like, I think the healthcare system doesn't care about the practitioners
Of course.
and balance. They don't care. And you really don't get to explore or understand this while you're going through training, right? Because you're kind of going into it with the thought of helping people, right? Because that's what medicine is about. But then you get on the other side and you're like, oh shit, this is
Yeah.
a business.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
and you're just a number.
Period.
And are you coming to work to take care of these patients or not?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So knowing kind of your struggles right now, right, with work-life balance. I mean, you've done a lot to get to where you are. You've achieved a lot. Would you do it different? Would you do anything different so that you can be that mom that takes her little
I
one
think
to school?
so. I
question.
think absolutely. I think that there are other specialties that allow for better balance. I know people who have left medicine completely.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
So
I
you
know.
definitely still be a doctor, just a different type of doctor.
Yeah, I think it just depends on your resources that are available to you, right?
Yeah.
For me, I don't have those resources where I can rely on somebody to take care of my bills. It's me, and I'm responsible for other people, right? But there are people who are doing telemedicine, right? Telehealth, working from home, which is an option, but the pay is not the same. So, you get used to a certain kind of pay, but then
course,
you
yeah.
become you become a you become
Yeah.
a slave to
slave to
working certain number of
the-
hours so you can maintain a certain amount of income,
Right.
but it's at a sacrifice, right? It's at a sacrifice of not knowing when you're picking up your child from school. So yeah, I think I would definitely do things differently. I don't know if one of my good friends from residency is watching this, but I had a good friend, Dr. Long, who's amazing, who was telling me the whole time, do chronic pain, which is a more competitive specialty. And I could have done it. But I think at the time, I really suffered from imposter syndrome because it was a competitive specialty. It was like, I'm not going to get this specialty. I'm not qualified. So I think at that time period, I really believed that. So that set a limitation on, it set a limitation on me applying. I didn't apply because of that.
Had you already gone through, like, at what point, like, what have you already achieved at that point where you were questioning yourself?
So I was a resident at this time.
So you mean tell me you did all the work to become a resident and you
Yeah.
still
I
kind of
still
doubted yourself a
didn't-
little bit?
Exactly. I
Wow.
still didn't believe. Right?
Wow, that's
You hear
interesting.
that a lot though, and especially in not just the medical field. People get to like their last year of high school, last year of college, or they major in something, and then when they get out, they do something totally different from
Yeah.
what their major even was. So it's one of those things where you like really have to sit back, do some soul search, and think about the projection in your life. But how do you do that?
You don't
when
know.
you're in residency. You have no idea where the future is going to take you. So
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, but
I think you just have to have a passion for it, right? And I think that you had a passion for the medical field, but meeting you the couple times that I have met you, it's interesting or surprising to know that you doubted yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even after making it as far as you did.
Absolutely. It was just like,
she's a very confident person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
what do you mean by
Yeah,
that?
she's a very confident.
No,
person.
competent has nothing to do with.
Confident. You're very confident.
you're a very confident person.
Okay.
I've known you for a long time. You're very like, you have an idea. You're strong-minded about certain things, and if it doesn't
not
go
a
the
bad
way
thing.
exactly,
It's not a bad
that
thing.
you technically wanted to go, then you may not want to
No,
deal with it.
I think people like, if you know my story, then
Mm-hmm.
you'll probably understand why I felt the way that I felt during that time period of my life.
Mm.
Now, it took a lot for me to get to where I'm at, where I feel like I can do everything now. But when I was applying as a resident, I was still in my 20s, right? I didn't really have that much mentorship. So I was really navigating this space on my own,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I can
So
understand
it's
that.
not like I had
Navigating.
parental, like, if my daughter wants to be a physician, there's no way, like, I'm not gonna give her a head start
Of course,
and tell her what specialties to get into and
Right.
provide some type of structure, right? Because that's what you need. And that's what other families do for their kids, right? But I didn't have that. I didn't know
Yeah.
exactly
Same, yeah.
what I was doing. And like I said, I just felt like at that time, I felt like it was a specialty that I probably couldn't get because I felt that I probably even though I scored really well on my in-training service exams, like I was always number 1 or number 2, I still doubted myself. And that has a lot to do with, I guess, internal struggles, right? Upbringing, right? Trauma,
I was gonna say,
right? Even if you're meeting certain criteria, it doesn't matter. If you don't believe that you can do something, if your subconscious is telling you that, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Right. This is true.
If your conscious and subconscious are both telling you, forget about it.
Yeah. But I think, you know, to get to the level where you at, because it's not, let's face it, it's not a lot of minority doctors, you know what I mean?
Women of color or
women of color. There's better.
We can't say
phrase.
minority. I hate that word, right? Because there's nothing minor about us,
I like that.
right?
Can we just say
There's
black
nothing-
women? We can't
Yeah,
just say
black.
Say that too.
Yeah, there's nothing. They like to put that word on people of color, but to make us feel as though we're less than. But when you evaluate it, right? All the black people, all the brown people, all the yellow people, right? Who's really the minority?
Yeah, true.
This is
Okay.
true. This is true.
So-
This is fact.
So at what point though, right, after you achieved everything that you achieved, passed the board, at what point you was like, damn, I did that shit? What was for you, what was the point you was like, you know what? I've arrived. I did all that.
I still don't feel like I'm there.
Really?
Still don't feel like I'm there.
Why is that?
I'm just not where I need to be.
But it has to be something that has given you the confidence to get to where you are today though.
Where I'm at is very basic.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Basic to who?
I think
That's-
it's basic.
that's relative.
It's
Basic is a
basic.
relative term, though.
I'm
It
just
could
a
be
basic girl.
It can be basic to you, but other people that's watching this right now, like, damn.
So,
man,
but
she
basic
doing
has to be like whoever the top brain surgeon in your field is, right? If you meet him, maybe you're basic to.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right,
I'm just
all right.
an anesthesiologist.
Got you.
I think, I don't know if I'm going to hurt people. I think, and I was just having this
You know, a little
conversation.
bit of the imposter thing again.
No, I think, so people ask me a lot, like, is medical school hard? And I'm like, no, this is one of the easiest things you can do, right? Because college and medical school were pretty easy, right? They give you a syllabus. They tell you what to do. It's not difficult
Right.
at all, right? Figuring out how to be an entrepreneur, baby, that's hard.
Oh yeah.
Trying to figure out real
For sure.
estate, that is difficult. Being a parent, making sure that you are parenting well at your highest level, that is difficult, right? These are more challenging areas. But being a doctor, to me, the only thing that's probably hard, it's not I feel like it's probably the hours.
Okay.
That's the difficult part. But you're gonna once you study and you understand your pharmacology, physiology, you know your medications, they give it to you, right?
I got you.
Even like abnormal symptoms, a heart rate is a certain way. Okay, you know what this is. This is AFib. These are the medications to treat this particular disorder, right? Medicine is not that. I feel like medical school is just not that difficult.
Got you.
I hate to say it like that, but like I said,
If you apply
if you
yourself,
exactly,
yeah.
and that's
You know,
with
there's gonna be some
anything.
people that's in there right now, like, what is she talking about? This is the hardest thing I ever did in my life.
Listen, I'm not going to say that it didn't require sacrifice, right?
of course.
But if you sacrifice and you put in your hours, I studied a lot. Like I was in the library all the time, but that was easy.
Mhm.
Everything after that is difficult.
Got you.
Relationships, that's difficult, right? Schools, homework, tutoring.
That deep
Like
side.
these are things, death, real life issues, sickness.
Mhm.
These are things that are going to challenge you.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's going to challenge you even more when you're going through medical school, right? But the medical school part itself is not difficult. It's everything else outside of
Yeah.
that.
I think when you get to a certain place in life where you feel like you're successful, other things like having time for your kids become more important, and then you start to weigh like, is this? I know. Well, for myself, I would say, even so. Just the other day, I was in the car with my daughter, and I used to take her to school like 3 days a week, and then it went down to like 2 days a week, right? And she called me out on it yesterday. She was like, "You don't really take me to school as much as you used to because you work in New York now." And I'm like, I was like, "Yeah, I know." I said, I'm gonna fix it. Give me some time." So she feels the effects, right? She notices it, and now I'm just kind of like, is it really important for me to keep pursuing this career that's really taking off for me, or do I need to, commit more time to parenting?
It
So,
depends, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm a strong believer in sacrificing for a goal,
mhm.
right?
Right.
If you are, I don't know what your situation is, but if it's a significantly higher paying job, right?
Mhm.
And you take that money and you invest it
Right.
wisely,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And you invest it for a certain amount of time, right? And you watch it grow in the stock market, let's say,
Mhm.
S&P 500, not doing options,
Mhm.
not doing these penny stocks, but invest it wisely,
Mhm.
right? Then you can
Free up time.
you can later on,
Right.
right?
Right.
Later on, you
Yeah.
can have more money to play with because the average return right now in the stock market is, I think, 13%,
Mhm.
right? And if you are really savvy and you know people who are telling you to get into certain other stocks, I've seen people who have 100% returns on certain stocks.
Gotcha.
So it just depends on what you're doing with that money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think it can be worth it for me if there's a means to an end,
Right.
Like
Yeah.
if I'm working hard and I'm not getting paid that much, it's not worth it for me.
Of course.
But if I'm working hard and there's it's a significant pay increase, my plan is not to do that for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
right? There needs to be an exit strategy. So I think as long as you have an exit strategy, then it's worth it.
Yeah, I
I
agree
think
with that.
it's also a matter of what you think is important as well. You know what I mean? Because
Money's important.
money's important, right? But some people may think time with their family is important. So, for example, like my daughter, her birthday, Renee's birthday, I took them to Jamaica, right?
Dope. I saw that.
First class.
Hey.
I took them first class, right? But and they didn't want for anything while we were out there. They had a great time. My daughter's in first class. They enjoying themselves, all inclusive. We having a good time. We hitting all the excursions. That's important for me to be able to provide that for my kid,
Right.
right? When we got back, it was a few days where I was just ripping and running. And Gabby was like, "Oh, you leaving again?" And I had to tell her, like, remember that trip you just went on? You remember
Yeah.
that trip you just went on? That loft bed that I just built that you wanted? A lot of these things,
It costs money.
Daddy has to be outside
Right.
doing what I need to do
Yeah.
in order to be able to give you that. So one day when you say, "Dad, I need X, Y, and Z," I'm not just patting my pockets. Like one of my goals for like life goals, right? I have to hit next year. That life goal is when Renee turns 16 next August, I want to be able to not hand her a vehicle, but hand her a property.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Right.
if she doesn't live in it, obviously at 16, she's not gonna live in it, but something that's gonna get some return for her,
Because
it's gonna
money's
work for her.
important.
That's what I want her to be able to have. That's one of my life goals. I have to check that off the box. But I can't do that if I'm sitting home just like,
Right.
blah,
But
blah,
yeah,
blah,
so it's a
blah, blah.
sacrifice.
So of course you have to figure out how to balance it, right? You gotta balance it, right? But sometimes you're just not gonna be able to balance it, right? So how do you reconcile that with yourself? The way I do it is I tell my daughters, "Hey babe, listen, you want this, you want that, daddy, we did this, we did that, we just went here. This is how you're able to do it because dad has to be out hustling
Right.
and moving.
You got to.
Right,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Money's important. I don't know what you signed for, but money.
Money.
I don't know what you signed
The
about
reason
over there
why-
when I said that, but money is important.
Yes,
baby.
money is important. The reason why I side is because making a significant amount of money I start to ask myself, the house, the car, being able to do for my daughter whenever she wants, is it really that important? Am I doing this? Yes, you need money, right, to go do the investments and things like that. Put your kids in all types of extracurricular activities and birthday parties, and those things cost, right? But is the money important, or is the time spent important?
The money,
The money is important, yes, because
the money is going to give you the time. The money is going to give.
Not
If
necessarily.
you do it right, the money will give you the time. The money, because that's the whole, for me, that's the whole goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to work till like the age of retirement.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Right. I don't want to keep work. I don't want to work like
So
this
that's
until
what
I'm
you mean by the money
70 years old. No, for me, the money is not to buy a Rollie, to buy Chanel. I don't care about
It's
like,
not to flex.
it's not to flex. Okay.
I
It's
ain't
not,
you walking in with a
Flexing is
Chanel bag.
optional.
it don't matter. Okay. It don't matter. Okay. Like, I'm not buying my own
Yeah,
Chanel.
Jen,
I'm not doing it.
Listen, I gotta buy my own stuff, so
Listen,
we gotta buy our
listen.
own stuff.
I mean, look. Every once in a while, I get a nice little gift. It ain't none on the level of Chanel bag.
with
you know what I
Dior.
mean?
Listen, but all I'm saying is that
Dior.
all I'm saying is that for me, the money that I'm sweating for, that I'm leaving my daughter for,
Yeah,
it's not for Chanel.
I got you.
That's not for Chanel. That is for me to invest so that I can grow my money, right? I can have a higher return so that I can work less. Money is a tool. It's a vehicle
Right.
to buy your freedom.
Correct.
For me, money's not, it's not for designer.
Yeah,
It's not for
I'm not,
flex.
I don't, and if I do designer, it's like, it's not, I don't have crazy stuff. I don't have APs and things like that.
listen, if I do designer, it's off the for sale rack.
Yeah, I do.
I ain't
I'm not.
I do
buying-
for sale too. Listen, the outlet, Woodbury Commons is not bad.
Listen, I do a designer here and there, but my thought process is, damn, all right, trip for the girls,
Yeah, it's
or
always
these
gonna be
shoes.
the
Trip for the girls, or these shoes. 9 times out of 10, I'm doing it for the girls anyway. I'm doing it for
Yeah.
the kids anyway. Every once in a while, I'll do a little something for myself. But my big thing is legacy. You know what I mean? Legacy is super important to me because I come from a broken home.
For sure.
I don't have a dad in the house. Mom was abused, like pretty much my whole teenage, from birth to teenage life. So I seen a lot of fuck.
I think you're a great dad, by the way.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I
man.
love how you parent. I love
Thank
how
you.
you're with your daughters, and you are an
I
excellent
appreciate
father.
you. I appreciate you.
excellent.
Absolutely.
And your motherhood does not go unnoticed. It looks good on you, man.
Thank you.
Keep doing your thing, for
about
sure.
it.
That's
Keep doing your
what's
thing. But for me, like the thing is legacy, right? So I didn't have it. I want to make sure my kids have it, but in a responsible way. I don't want to just spoil them, but I want them to look forward to having something of their own. You know what I mean? Spoiling, it comes with it, but I don't want them to be spoiled rotten. Is what I'm trying to say. I want them to at least be able to appreciate that it's happening, why it's happening, and what daddy had to, what mommy and daddy had to do to get it there for them. You know what I mean? I want to leave them with something. Like everything that I do now, when you see me on social media, that shit's cool, right? But at the end of the day, my end goal is to leave something. Because the life I'm living right now is absolutely not for myself. You know what I mean? Like I do certain things, you might think, oh, Jimmy's having a great time. But the goal is to leave stuff for the girls, like my skincare line, the real estate, all the stuff that I'm trying to do. It's so one of my girls or both of them could carry that shit on when I'm in the dirt.
Yeah,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure.
So like when I think of stuff like, all right, so it's my son corny as hell, but my last name Tessier, right? I think of like, all right, Cartier, right? I think Cartier, Courvoisier. I think of stuff like that. I'm like, damn, why the fuck not? Can my shit be like a dope ass brand? You know what I mean? Like something with some class, some pizzazz. So this is why I do certain things. Like, you know what? I'm gonna leave this legacy for my girls so they can build on it, carry it down generations, because that's what the others do. You know what I mean? The others do, they build on their name. They hustle for their name, not necessarily for themselves. So that's something I'm trying to instill. Like Gabby right now, she'll come downstairs, she see me working on my product line, and she wants to create a soap line. So Gabby right now, if you
never know.
if you go to my website, you can go to tessiercollection.com, you go to Gabby's soap shop. She got her own soap.
That's
Nice.
On my page, you know.
That's
what I mean?
amazing. I didn't know
We
that.
went to Staples, we printed up all her stuff, and
I
then
love
we got
that.
her soap molds, and she created the scents, and she was playing with the scents. So I can already see that sense of entrepreneurship in my
Yeah.
10-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm super proud of that.
That's
Like if
what's up.
I didn't do anything, I'm
So
gonna check that off the
You
list.
asked me a question, like if I could do it over again,
Mhm.
right? It's like I said, a lot of times people like us go to medical school and you're learning just how to become a doctor and get a job,
Mhm.
but you never learn the business of medicine,
Mhm. Gotcha.
right? You
Okay.
never learn. And people like us do not own the ambulatory surgical centers. We don't own the hospitals, right? We don't own the mental health care facilities, right? It's other people who own it. And
Mhm.
those are the people who are really, really cashing out.
Gotcha.
The providers are not. I mean, some providers are cashing out, but the owners,
They're the ones cashing out.
yeah.
Sometimes the providers are just workers at the end.
Yeah,
of the day.
we are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, the businesses, like the medical businesses, they're not even owned by physicians.
No, they're owned by so.
Yes.
Outside of real estate, my day job is I'm a medical adjuster, right,
Okay.
for an insurance company. So when we get those CPT codes and we get those IME reports and those bills that come in, and they're charging $5,000 for some crazy like injection that really only costs maybe $1,000, I see that stuff, and I gotta like my job is to figure out whether we're gonna pay it, whether we're gonna defend it, whether we're gonna settle it. That's what I do. So in the course of my 12 years of doing that type of business, I've learned that the providers aren't the ones really making the money. It's the
We're not.
owners, bro. The
Yeah.
We're
owners, they
not.
set the tone on how much to charge, how often the medical facility stays open, how many patients the providers see on an hourly basis. It's
causing
crazy.
burnout.
It's definitely causing.
It's causing
And a lot
burnout
of
in
fraud, too.
medicine.
Mhm.
Oh, fraud. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's causing burnout amongst providers,
Mhm.
right? And you see this in the news, right? Nurses are getting stretched really thin. If their ratio is supposed to be 6-1, the institution is trying to spread it so they're seeing 10 patients for one nurse because they're saving money.
Wow.
You know that they were on strike,
That's
right?
crazy.
So yeah, it's not the
Instead of hiring
provider.
2 nurses, you just
Yeah, instead of hiring 2, you're gonna just hire 1 nurse to do everything,
Mhm.
right? Then you have medical errors. Then you get burnout. Then you get people who are saying, "Oh, doctors ain't shit," because all they want, right? All they want to do is like, tax and not see me, not spend enough time. Well, the insurance companies want you to see a certain number of patients per day so that you can have adequate reimbursement, so that you can pay your loans off, so that
Gotcha.
you can have some type of living. It is a messed up system.
Yeah.
That's
Have
why I'm
you-
gonna have my own podcast, Money, Power, and Medicine.
Hey, plug that. Make sure you guys tune in to Dr. Jen's podcast. Drop it one more time.
Money, Power, and Medicine.
Yeah, and then we can find you on.
YouTube,
Mhm.
Instagram,
Okay.
Nice.
TikTok.
Nice.
All
Nice.
right,
Nice.
cool.
Nice. Nice.
Check her out.
To what you were just saying, have you seen in your practice doctors, for lack of better words, who actually ain't shit?
What do you mean by that?
Like horrible
What
doctors.
do you mean? What, can you tell me?
Like,
what,
have you come across doctors you like, yo, how the fuck did you pass the board? How did you get here?
intelligence? Like, do you mean intelligence?
Intelligence, how they go about their practice, how they treat their patients.
I've definitely interacted with a lot of people who don't care about other people,
Okay.
right? Like I said, I've had personal experiences where, I need to get out of work because I don't have anybody to pick up Joe,
Mhm.
or I've been really, 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 really sick, and I'm still at work, right?
Mhm.
There's a lack of empathy
Got you. Okay.
in medicine.
Okay.
There's no denying that. There's a you go into medicine thinking that there's empathy and people care about you or people care about other people. It's like a dog eat dog world in medicine. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you hear about how nurses. I have one of my friends who left, who was a anesthesia tech, 3 kids, put herself through school, became a nurse, and was telling me how nurses were just being really mean to her.
Other
Instead of
nurses
being
would be-
other nurses,
okay.
like not being helpful. Surgeons, I talked about this on another episode with somebody, just sometimes they're not kind, right? But that's just anybody in medicine. You can have unkind people in medicine in general. And I think people undermine this, that
This episode was brought to you by the Tessier Collection, hair and skincare curated and sophisticated.
that there are going to be people who have personality disorders, right? Or psychological disorders, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but I think you need to be mindful of that as well.
Got you. Okay.
If you know what I mean. Did I answer the
Yeah,
question?
100%. I think you answered.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are people who
sure.
are just, I remember getting into an argument with somebody and I was pregnant. I had to leave.
A patient
because-
or another doctor?
Another doctor.
Okay.
I had to leave for a ultrasound, and I was able to switch my schedule or the lineup, and my colleague came and just started yelling. Mind you, I'm pregnant.
Man or woman?
Man,
Okay.
it was so nasty.
Oh, wow.
It was so nasty. Like I said, people just don't care.
Yeah. How do you feel about because we've been hearing this for a long time that there's
I'm nervous.
no there's a disparity, a difference in how people of color are treated in the medical
Absolutely.
field when it comes to doctors, how they treat them, how they diagnose
Oh,
them.
absolutely.
Women of color dying on the
Yes.
birthing table, giving birth.
Absolutely. So
Mhm.
I think, there's nothing, like I said, like I keep on saying throughout the conversation, is that medicine is reflective of what the real world is. So if you think that there's racism in the world, then you have to understand that there's racism in medicine. Right? It's
right.
not exclusive.
Right.
So to touch on birthing in the U.S. and the U.S. having the highest morbidity and mortality rate amongst Black women, I think is about 3 to 5%, which is horrific.
It's crazy.
Right? You have a lot of cases, and I studied this extensively, misplaced epidurals and not listening to patients.
Misplaced
I think,
Jesus Christ.
yeah. So that was a case that was out in Brooklyn, and really just not listening to patients. There was another case where a woman was exhibiting symptoms of having a pulmonary embolism, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, and they just didn't listen to her, and she died from a pulmonary embolism. Serena Williams also talked about that, where she was in the hospital, knew she was having an
issue,
blood clot and or pulmonary embolism, and they waited to diagnose her. Okay. There was another issue with a judge's daughter. I'm sorry, the name escapes me, but her daughter-in-law had a routine C-section in Los Angeles, and in the PACU, which is the recovery unit, after having her C-section, she was complaining of abdominal pain, and this went on for about 8 hours.
Wow.
Right? And she had abdominal pain. Her abdomen was significantly distended. It wasn't until they saw blood in the Foley catheter, which is a catheter that connects to your bladder. They took her back, and I think they saw about 3 liters of blood in her abdomen. She bled out and she died. Again, this comes down to listening. So
wow.
I think people don't want to admit it, right? But it's racism. If you're not listening to a patient, it's bias, right?
Yeah,
You're
for sure.
think that people of color complain more about pain,
Okay.
so you don't take their pain symptoms very serious. I had my own experience
Wait,
being a physician. But
do you think that comes from the idea that the pain tolerance
It's higher.
can
is
be
higher? Like, do you
Yeah.
think they think that? I'm not saying that's an actual thing, but for whatever reason, do you think they assume that
They
Black
m-
people can assume
They might
higher?
assume that, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
There's a disconnect between patients who are complaining of real symptoms, right? And having a real medical emergency or urgency and not being heard, not even being assessed. So even if you were hypothetically to think that this patient is exaggerating, right? The assessment is not being done,
Got you.
right? Patients are being dragged out the hospital. There was a case of a woman in Louisiana who went into the ER, and she was having a PE. She was complaining of difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, and they called the police. They took her outside the hospital. She collapsed in the parking lot, and they took her back in, and she died
Crazy.
Crazy.
from a PE. So yeah, there's we know that there's racism, right? And bias, and it's gonna happen in medicine, no matter who tells you otherwise.
So
Mhm.
if it's happening in medicine to patients from doctors, right?
Mhm.
Do you kind of see that from doctor to doctor?
No, I don't see it.
Okay.
Is that the politically correct answer right now, Dr. Jim? We might have put her
I
on the
never
spot a little
seen.
bit.
I personally have never seen a physician that I know do something racist to a patient. I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I only am a small part
Of
of
course.
the I'm
issue.
only a small part, right? I can't remember a time where I've seen actual racism. Now, I remember during my training hearing people say certain things about Black people, like we have more secretions, we're more difficult to anesthetize, right? So I've heard these things, but I've never seen anything to make me feel like, oh, you're doing some racist stuff over here.
Got you.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Do I
Okay.
suspect people may not like people of color? I do.
Okay.
But do I watch them and see if that that they deviate from the standard of practice? I haven't necessarily seen it.
Got you.
But like I said, there are things that are done in medicine.
subtleties, I guess,
Like
yeah.
sometimes you won't take a patient maybe because they're Black, right? You could think that they're a problem, but it's your prerogative, right?
We take longer to.
Or you assume they ain't got no insurance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Crazy.
yeah, but that's true though.
That's
That is the
crazy.
issue. You won't get through the doors at my hospital if you don't have insurance. They want their money.
Really?
Yeah, you're not right. If you're scheduled for elective surgery and your insurance or your money's not clear, you're not coming to get operated on.
Right.
It's a business. They need their money. They need to understand that they're getting their money.
Right.
Right.
They
Jeez.
call all the time. They call me all the time before a patient is even seen.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm checking on this particular patient. Do they have coverage? How much is it, like? And the way my job works, the first 10 days, go see them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the first 10 days is kind of an emergency after a motor vehicle accident. You have to see them. It's okay. But they want to call and find out if they have coverage. How much can I see him? Will you guys pay me before they even look at the guy? The guy can have a broken arm. And it's like, I want to make sure you have.
The thing is
coverage.
the
It's
hospital,
crazy.
but the thing is the hospital is taking a loss, and like I said, medicine is still a business. I know I hate to say it because it seems like I'm lacking compassion, right? I love what I do. I don't want anybody to think that I don't. I love what I do. I love being an anesthesiologist, but
to that point, just to touch on what you just said, you said that
Spit it out.
It may feel like I'm lacking compassion. Do you find that that's a trait in most doctors in the medical field, that they're so jaded and they went through so much training and they see all this type of things all the time that they kind of are jaded to patients' symptoms, so they're not as empathetic as they should be?
That could be an issue. Burnout can be an issue. Maybe if there's better quality of work-life balance for physicians, maybe you'll see less of that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they are. But the thing is too, like I said before, it's like you have to learn how to compartmentalize, right? Your emotions. Like, I don't care what's going on with me at home. I don't care what's going on with a colleague. When I see you and you're my patient, you're my priority.
Right.
You're what I'm worried about. I'm good at doing that. Other people may not be good at doing that.
Got you.
Right? Like, you're letting your life affect how you're treating a patient, or you're going through a divorce right now, so you're being an asshole not only to your colleagues but also to your patients. I have seen this happen.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah,
There's some janky doctors out there. I'll tell you a situation that I had. I had a motor vehicle accident earlier during the year, right? And I hit my face on an airbag. Airbag kind of like made my face really swollen. So I definitely had a lump right here on the bridge of my nose. It was visible. You can see it. It looked like I broke my nose. So my doctor, I haven't been there in a little bit, right? So my doctor says, "Hey,
your
we have
PCP?
my PCP, right? I have to treat you as a new patient because it's been a while since you've been here." Okay, cool. When can I get an appointment? Well, we only do one new patient per month. So the next time I could see you was in May. That's 5 months out from when I was calling. I said, "What in the world?" So I called another doctor, right, who was able to see me right away. But I don't want to bring like the race of the doctor, right? But my doctor was a Spanish doctor. This new doctor, Indian doctor, right? So I walk in, explain what happened, and he's giving me all the new patient stuff, to checking everything, and then I show him the bridge of my nose, which is clearly a knot. Like, it looks like I broke.
Yeah, it was bad.
He touches it, and he's like, "Ah, you're fine." I I said, what? I was like, yo, I'm not coming back here ever again. Just the fact that you can visually look at me, see my nose, you can see it looks like I probably fractured my nose, touch it, and say, oh, you're okay.
Did you fracture it?
It wasn't. I think whether if it was or not, it healed. When I took the X-rays,
So you were fine.
I was fine. But bro, don't just give me an eyeball and say I'm fine.
But you were fine though.
I didn't even get X-ray.
But he touched it.
He said he don't see anything there. I had an arm sticking out of my nose, bro. Like,
But you were fine. I don't know.
So I'll tell you this: that experience right there made me not want to go back to him because I felt like
You weren't seen or heard.
I felt like
understand.
he was not taking my condition or what I was.
But you were fine
complaining
though.
seriously.
I think some people.
But
need
he
to,
didn't. But he didn't
I
know
knew
he was fine.
And even
But you
if I
were
was
though.
fine, even if I was
That's
fine, it took
subjective. Objectively, you were fine.
It took time to heal, right? It took time to heal.
Did you eventually see a doctor?
It
though?
took months to go down, right? So as my doctor, this is the first time I'm seeing you. You never seen me before to know what I look like before.
Mhm.
This is your first time seeing me, and I got a boulder on the side of my face.
The point is that
how
it
you
was.
telling me that you don't see anything.
Okay.
It's okay. Like for me, I was like, nah, I can't do this. Man.
I can understand both perspectives, right? Because for you, it's like something happened. My face is not normal.
Fine. At least give
I'm
me an
not fine,
X-ray,
right?
bro.
You were
Like
fine.
something.
And then from the doctor's perspective,
You didn't need an X-ray.
he touched your face. You didn't hoop and holler to the degree.
That's what I'm saying. The
if it
physical
wasn't
examination.
fractured or broken, you would have been like, ah, but you didn't do that. So he was like,
Thank you.
you're fine.
Yeah, the physical
From his
examination
professional
didn't
perspective,
warrant an
yeah.
X-ray.
Mm.
That's all it was.
I guess the shit hurt like hell. He touched my face.
He technically saved you, saved you some money or
Shit,
something
I'd
like
rather,
that.
I'd rather pay that money than walk around with a fractured nose and not know it.
But it
you
wasn't
know?
fractured though.
I guess, man. I guess. Still, my point is, you taking these new patients, taking these doctors. I need you to understand where I'm coming. Even if you felt like I was fine, say, hey, listen. I understand you're a little concerned. I touched your nose. I did a physical examination. It didn't feel fractured. It didn't feel like you broke anything. If it was broken or if it was fractured, you would have felt a little bit more pain. I'm not seeing any bleeding. I'm not seeing too much of a swelling. So I think it's just probably swollen. Let's give it some time. We'll circle back the next time you come in.
So I don't disagree with that, right?
But you just like, no, you okay.
Right. So I don't disagree with that, right? That would have been the professional, more comforting thing for him to do. But to Dr. Jen's point, when you have doctors who are burned out and they do have other patients to see, and you're coming in with something based on his professional assessment is not really major, right? I don't have time to sit here and explain all this to you. Right. Even though you need it and deserve that in that moment. Absolutely.
Exactly. I was going to say, hey, you may not have time because you burnt out,
right?
But I'm a brand new patient. Right. I am concerned about this fucking boulder.
But hold on. But also cultural. Right, culturally, he may not, right, feel like it's necessary to do that for you.
What you mean culturally?
Culturally, there's some, I just think that some cultures may be a little bit more,
rough around the edges, a little bit more direct, a little bit more.
Yeah, it could be direct. No, not necessarily. I just don't feel like certain cultures or certain people, feel like they need to explain, or maybe he didn't know that he didn't explain to you. Maybe he thought that him telling you you're fine was enough.
Right.
Right? You understand what I'm saying?
Possibly.
Maybe. You don't know.
I feel like that might have worked for the older generation of people, because there is a thing where older generation of people, they have this thing called white coat syndrome. They go to the doctor tell them, you're good. Meanwhile, they're walking around with a broken leg.
That's not white coat syndrome. White coat syndrome is when you go to the hospital or you go see a physician and your blood pressure is elevated, you're tachycardic because of the fear of seeing a physician. That's white coat syndrome.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I thought, thank you for the correction.
You're
Dr.
welcome.
Jen. What I thought white coat syndrome was the fear or the respect that you give a doctor, that even though you can clearly see I have a broken leg, but because the doctor's telling you it's not a broken leg, you're sitting there like, okay, well, I guess I don't have a broken leg.
It's okay. That's not it.
All right, well, I guess I got it wrong.
Dr. Jen's like, you be all right, nigga.
Yeah,
Dr. Jen gonna send me out in with one leg missing and be like, you be all right. Take it easy. Just go sit down somewhere.
So, Dr. Jen, tell me real quick about this medical spa.
The medical spa.
What can I go to the medical spa?
You can go whenever you want to. You guys can come whenever you want to. We offer IV hydration, Botox, a little weight loss.
See how she
Damn.
coming for me? You see how she coming for me? You see how Dr. J coming for me?
Okay.
That's love taps. That's all it is. You do not have to
That-
go for my gut like that.
A little weight
I
loss
lost
for
10
you.
pounds. I don't know what you
Alice
So how-
out. Yes, I look good still. Okay.
So when you
Yeah.
say weight loss, what procedures or
Oh, so we offer semaglutide, which is the brand name of Ozempic.
oh
Okay.
Jimmy sells Jersey. 0% small talk, 200% grind. They talk, we hustle. At your service for all your New Jersey real estate needs.
what's that, like a shot and then you
It's
just
an
go down?
injection. It's a once a week injection that you take. You have to be a candidate. You need to have an evaluation to make sure that it is safe for you. But that is one thing. We offer nutritional consultation as well and IV hydration for now. Botox, a little lip filler. If you want to come,
I'm interested in the
You
IV
can-
hydration.
we just did one for Daniel
Oh,
the
yeah?
other day.
Oh, yeah?
When was that? What's today?
What
Wednesday.
kind of IV
He got
hydration?
vitamin C, glutathione. He got a workout cocktail because he stays in the gym. I don't know about you, but he stays in the gym.
Yo, you gonna have to stop
Damn.
coming for me, bro. I got arms. up.
Jimmy be in the gym
Look,
here and
look,
there.
I'm slim, sexy. I don't know
He
what
stays in the
Jen
gym.
talking about.
And I love
don't know
that.
what
He's
Jen
pretty
talking about.
consistent. And he's been consistent since childhood,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Daniel has been consistent. People are just now getting on this wave of going to the gym and being healthy. But Daniel's been in the gym.
So
Me.
you have the workout IV.
Uh-huh.
What other kind of IVs do you have?
We have some skin whitening, which is glutathione. We have emergency immunity. We also have hangover. If you are drinking a lot the night before and you're significantly dehydrated or you're nauseous, you can get another IV for that.
Interesting.
We do at-home services too. If we screen you, you seem safe because it's scary out here.
I would
That's an
imagine,
additional
yeah.
charge if you don't want to come to West Orange. But come visit us. Look at the Ideal Med Spa. Hopefully, we can put the link below. Ideal Med Spa in West Orange, New Jersey.
Nice. Is Brotox a thing? Do you get a lot of guys?
Bro,
Brotox.
No.
Brotox.
We
Okay.
don't have a lot of guys coming in for Brotox.
Okay, got you.
Well, Shakir,
I don't know. I might need
we're
some
gonna
guys
have to
on
go
Brotox.
to her med spa.
Yes,
and
come.
tape our visit.
Yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
know about Brotox, but I definitely want to do a workout IV.
Yeah, you should.
I don't look at this. Look at the guns.
Okay.
I don't.
Can you edit this out,
Yeah,
please?
I don't need it. So I'm
Edit
what
this
Jen's
outta
talking
here.
about, okay, I don't need it,
Oh,
but
man.
I would like to.
You
know,
should.
we should go through it.
I think we should too. Absolutely.
All right,
Come
cool.
through. And bring your friends. Tell a friend to bring a friend.
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
What else did you
Alan, is it that time or not yet? Okay.
5 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
So did you? Well, you didn't catch.
No,
the
I didn't watch the debate.
The debate was for you guys. The debate was last night. I watched it. It was pretty interesting. I think Kamala did great. I think Trump just highlighted how much of a clown he is. And if you just want to vote for Trump for his policies about finances, he couldn't even put two words together about finances. Everything he said was, "We're gonna do. I have a plan and I have concepts." Just nothing substantial. Me and Shakir have this thing that we keep going back and forth about
What?
Trump and Kamala, but I think we're gonna save that for another. Save that for another
What is it?
episode.
I mean, I'm not necessarily. I'm not for Trump. I'm not for Kamala. I'm not for either one of them. I think you just gotta pick from like a piece of shit or a bigger piece of shit.
Yeah, because we know that
Period.
neither, right?
Yeah,
is really
so-
Period.
making the policies there.
But like I said on the last episode, man, like, you know, you got a guy who is here to literally.
Do you think he's gonna win?
Do I think
hell
Trump
no.
is gonna win?
Hell no, I don't think.
I think Trump. There's a strong possibility he might win.
I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of push for him to win by people who just follow the type of rhetoric that he has. But when it comes down to it, I don't think society is gonna let him
You think so?
do another run,
You,
bro.
what does
I think
what
they're-
does society hate more than a black man?
Not necessarily a black woman, but guess what? Guess
A
what?
black woman.
You see a
Okay.
lot, but check this out. You see a lot of this idea that because she's not fully 100% black, that you see a lot of people getting behind her. Call it a bad thing, good thing, whatever. As long as it's not him, I don't give.
Listen, I don't think it's about her whether she's black or not, right? I
There's
think
people
it's
making
more
it
so
about
about when Kamala Harris ran for the governor of California, she ran as an Indian American woman, point blank, period.
Mhm.
The first Indian American woman to be elected as governor of the state of California, period, right? If she was just running as the first Indian American woman to run for president, I think I'd pay her a lot more attention. But
Would you pay her the same amount of attention if she was the first black woman for presidency?
it's not authentic, right? You can't run as support or identifying as a specific race over here and then you switch it up when you're over here. That's not authentic.
Is that important?
Is that important? It's not important.
When you're looking, when
It's
you're
not
looking
important.
at
I mean,
what
'cause,
she's running
I
against.
mean, Trump is.
I think the policies are more important than whether she's fucking.
I don't care if she was green.
I don't care if she was. I just. sit
It
down the
wouldn't
last
matter. You're
episode.
right.
Okay.
It wouldn't
I
matter.
don't care if she's a Martian, bro. You got a guy like Trump that comes in for whatever he stands on economically, whatever. The guy clearly does not like black people, people of color, minorities.
You said you were going to talk about the comment that JD Vance made, or you don't want to address it.
Oh, I mean, it was just idiotic. Look, at the end of the day, I'm Haitian. I'm proud to
We're
be
Haitian.
Haitian. We are Haitian. There's a lot of
I'm Haitian by association.
my man is Haitian by association. There's a lot of beautiful, wonderful things about Haitian people that just what the fuck is he talking about? Nobody's eating no goddamn dogs and cats. What the fuck is it?
It's not
It's such a
substantiated.
ridiculous fucking piece of garbage thing to say.
Yeah.
It's just more rhetoric that brings people down. You know the problem is this country has always had an issue with Haiti.
Haiti,
You know why?
yeah.
We're the first black country
Independent nation.
we're the first black country to kick the slave masters out, gain our independence, become something that has never been heard of in that time frame. And the people who are pro-slavery and making money off of slavery, they want to punish us for being, and it's still the same to this day. They've always isolated us. They've always punished us. They've always had a hand in our government. They've always had a hand in our economy. They've always had a hand in keeping us down. And it's because we gained our independence the way we gained our independence. And when you have a country that has, the United States had their foot on their necks, they had to pay reparations to France. They had to go through earthquakes, hurricanes, bad economy, bad presidents, gangs. What the fuck? We've had we've had a bad run, bro, and it's all because we decided to stand up, put our foot down,
Right.
stay 10 toes down, stay
Right.
on business.
Yeah.
All right. So, fuck JD Vance, fuck Trump.
Listen,
Fuck
if
all that shit.
Michelle Obama was running, it'd be a far going conclusion for me.
Listen, like I said,
Period.
anything is you know my issue with I'm not voting for either one because I don't like either one. My issue is for
You're not
every
voting?
no, not me. I've heard other people say
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
voting. I'm voting. You know what I mean? But my thing is when you don't vote, that's sort of kind of the same thing as a vote for Trump, to be honest with you. Because every one of us
Yeah,
that's
I
not
understand what
voting,
you're saying.
it's 2, 3, 4 of them
Yeah,
that
but
are
certain
voting.
states it doesn't matter. You know that.
I don't think in an election like this, not one vote doesn't matter. I think it all matters. You know why? Because it's like the soul of this freaking country is
Yeah.
at stake. I feel like.
I
You know
think
what
I think you kind of have to vote. I think, especially if you're black, I think it's your
yeah,
responsibility.
we
to
fought
vote.
for that.
Yeah.
We fought for that. Haitians came a long way, man. To just have somebody just disrespect us like that.
You're not voting?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Better. She better. Ain't no fucking cats and dogs. Somebody need to turn into a
Yeah.
goat, throw some curry on them, and then some.
That's some curry on.
All right, listen. We at the time of the show where we do our takeaways. All right. So my takeaway is I've been schooled on what white coat syndrome is, so I will not make that
You're
mistake anymore. Thank you very much.
That's
Dr.
what I'm
J.
here for.
Okay. Also, life is life is hard, man. Life is hard, and there's so many different ways to slice it. There's so many different ways to go. You know, as long as you're taking care of your family, taking care of your responsibilities, you're leaving something for the next generation, and you're doing it in a positive way. That's all that matters. Everything else is just extra. Jen,
I didn't. I have to.
Yeah,
Do you have a
your
takeaway?
takeaway.
A takeaway. I was the one that was being interviewed.
What?
I don't have a takeaway.
You don't have a takeaway?
Please visit Ideal Med Spa
There we
in
go.
West
That
Orange
works.
for your IV hydration, Botox,
What's the address?
lip filler needs. Lip filler needs. And we will be adding a clinic portion as well.
You want to tell them the address to the clinic?
It's 623 Eagle Rock Ave, West Orange, New Jersey.
Nice.
Check me out on Money Power Medicine or follow me at Dr. Jennifer Charles on Instagram for more content when Alan and Josh help me because they only help Jimmy and Shakir.
That's not true.
So that's my takeaway, that the men are going to support the men and they don't
is
support the
not
women.
true.
We
Don't be
support
talking
That's
about Alan
that's
like that.
my
We
takeaway.
support you, Jen.
Okay.
All right, we support you. Alan supports you.
Terrible.
I done seen Alan sitting here late nights editing videos with you.
And don't take it out.
All right, you see? Look at that.
What's
Alan-
your takeaway, Shakir?
My producer's a good guy.
My
I love
takeaway-
Alan.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
Alan's amazing. My takeaway is, first of all, the medical field is a business more than it is a system to care for the sick. So gotta be mindful of that. And yeah, I don't think I really realized how much of a business it
Big
was.
business.
Yeah,
Multi-billion
for
dollars.
sure.
You know how much money they spend on healthcare?
Like when you think of pharma, you think of like business. When you think of healthcare, you don't
Pharma is
think-
healthcare.
right. But you think of like pills, and we think of
Business.
healthcare, you think of people
Helping.
taking care of people. You don't think of business. But
Business.
based on our conversation today, I think gave me a lot more insight to
Big
how much of a
business.
business it is.
Huge.
Yeah. So that's one takeaway. I think my other takeaway is that I think in life you have to realize what's most important to you. Is it time with family, being a mom, being a dad? Is it career? Is it money? Is it status? And I think that at some point we all have to get to a place in life where we identify and pursue what's most important for us. That's my takeaway.
All right. That's a wrap. Guys, follow us on YouTube, Instagram at No Mistakes Podcast. On YouTube, you can find us, like, follow, subscribe, send us some comments, send us some questions. If you have any people you think would be great to interview on the show, let us know.
Sure.
No mistakes.
We out.
Black, stop playing with him.